Very weird.
T3 Media.
Through the media.
Hey, once again, guys, we are back with another episode for the weekend. It's We Got Your Mail. This is the show where we decide to answer your questions, comments, complaints, and concerns. A lot of you guys, we say concerns, but a lot of you guys have sent us things like, are you guys okay? You guys are
no.
So yeah, we appreciate the guys actually looking out for us. I feel like that it just makes us better. It makes you guys in the community are looking out for us. And I'm here once again with Amy Newman, co-piloting, or actually I'm co-piloting for you.
I think we're both co-pilots. Is that a thing?
Nobody's controlling this plane.
No, we're both sitting in the back drinking mini bottles.
That's exactly what I would be doing if I was a flight attendant. I'm like, sir, can I get more peanuts? I'll be with you in a second, sweetie, and just ignore them for the rest of the flight.
One time I flew a budget airline and it all seemed fine until they did the pre-flight speech and the flight attendant pointed the wrong way.
To the exit?
Like it was like whatever, it's like the left and right. And they were like, oh.
That's your right
hand. I'm like, I need to know that you know.
But maybe she was doing like your left. And
whatever it was, she did the full like oopsie that was like, you didn't do that, like you meant to do that.
Your oxygen mask will come out from your seat and your floating device will come from over the top. Oops, I got that backwards. The toilet's in the cockpit.
It was bad. I was very scared. Can we cut this? Can we edit this?
Oh yeah. Oh, I was already on the T3 Media's thing, and you were .com thing, and you were. I was trying to hear what you were saying. So, you know what? Okay, like I said, okay, guys. Here's if you want to send us your questions, comments, or anything you want us to talk about on the show, you can send them to us at T3 Media's on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok accounts. Since I've single-handedly saved TikTok for all of you. And you can send it right here on the show, or you can just mail us at t3medias.com/contact, and we'll go over that too. So, Amy, we have a few that we want to talk about. What is up first?
We have a comment from Paul Davis on 10 movies and TV shows that pass, saying, "What's the point of a simple test that is so stupid?" And I assume this was a troll, but I'm going to answer it like you really asked, because I think this is a learning moment. The point is kind of that it is so simple, because it really should be bare minimum. For those of you who have not watched the Bechdel test video, and feel free to if you're so interested, it is a test, just sort of a very basic way to start discussing female representation in media. Basically, it is 3 guidelines for a film. One, or TV show, does the media have more than one named female character? Do those two female characters have a conversation, and is that conversation about something other than a man in the thing? Right. And that is simple. That is basic. That is base level. And a lot of things don't pass it. And that is why it exists. And it is not the end all be all. It is not a perfect barometer. There have been a lot of I think I even mentioned in that video, there have been a lot of very smart discussions and a lot of really insightful people who know more about, gender studies and feminist theory and all that good stuff than I even do, discussing this isn't particularly, it doesn't really fight for particularly intersectional feminism. It doesn't really discuss like diversity in your feminism. It doesn't discuss, a whole host of other issues. The point is that it's very, very, very bare minimum. Mm-hmm. And you would like to think the majority of things would just pass it, that it wouldn't be a big deal, that you could just put women in your thing unless there's like a really specific reason that it is a super male-centric story. And I get that sometimes those exist. Like we've talked with the Oscar diversity guidelines. It's like, 1917, there aren't going to be a million women characters having conversations.
Right.
I get that. most things should just pass it. And that's the point,
Right.
that it is simple and it is not stupid, but it's basic. It's bare minimum. So I don't know. I don't think that's the answer you wanted, but that's the answer I'll give you.
It kind of reminds me of, because I'm a comic book guy. I came up as a kid reading a lot of comic books and drawing a lot of comic books, and that question would come in like, why is it that all of the female characters in the comic book have the big boobs and the rock hard body? Because it's drawn by men. That was like always the basic answer. Like to get a little bit more professional on it. You know what it reminds me of? I thought about this based on something else. I was like watching the news, not to make this into a whole political thing, but based on we recently lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I'm seeing people ask questions. They ask questions to other females about her passing, and they were on the other side of the political aisle of her. And you'd be surprised of how many women would be like, "Well, I'm glad she's gone. I'm glad that that way we can get somebody else," and not and only looking at it from that angle and not appreciating the fight that she put up that benefited all women, right? Or not just women, pretty much all of us for fighting for equality and whatnot. And I feel like people tend to. And this could be about anything. It could be based on sex. It could be based on race, whatever the situation is. I feel like people in the next generation they feel they can just take it for granted and they can poo-poo it or anything, like whatever it is. Like where people say stuff like on a race level, like when the topic is about like slavery, for example. It's like oh my God, that was so many years ago. Like get over it kind of a conversation. It's like, you can easily, whether you're black or white, like I've heard both people say it. You can easily say that now because you feel like the chances of it ever happening again it happened so long ago and it never going to happen again. So people take it for granted that it actually happened, and it's like I think that's kind of what's happening with this guy, and because there's probably even women out there that are thinking like, oh my God, this is necessary to bring this up. It's like, I'm sure that women back in the day when they were trying to get jobs or get roles in Hollywood where the script wasn't like totally ridiculous, there was probably a lot of actresses out there that were like, oh my God, I would never say this and whatnot back then, but they couldn't say anything back then. But today, when everything can be hashtagged and whatnot, and everybody can be aware of stuff, I think people today can easily just take it for granted. And be like, oh my God, I mean, why couldn't she just hashtag something back in 1935 and just solve her problem? It didn't exist back then. Things were a little harder back then.
And again, we take for granted how much better things have gotten, but the bare minimums still aren't being met in media. So it does still need to exist. We do still need to be having these conversations about who we're representing, who we're letting tell stories, and, who they get to, tell stories about. Yeah,
I'm not saying, Paul, that this could have been like. I mean, well, no, actually, he said this is the test is so stupid. No, you actually said this is stupid, and it's not. It's there's a reason why. I mean, you would probably be shocked how many people in the business were like until Bechdel coined it and so perfectly, people were like, holy crap, I looked at my own script. A writer was probably like, "Damn, I have never passed the Bechdel." It probably woke up a lot of people.
A lot of my favorite movies have not, and it's also not an end all be all metric for like, can there be strong female characters? Can this movie do good things for the representation of women? But it is an interesting jumping off point to have that discussion.
Yeah, it's not going to take anything away from any movies. It's just, I feel like when people are just used to dominating something and it being one way for so long, it could be like, I don't know, let's just say the scale is like, it's been like 90% all men and 10% all women for like hundreds and hundreds of years in the movie business, right? Which it literally has been. And then in 2010 to 2020, whatever, when it really started shifting, it could go from 90%, 90-10, and it could go to like 85-15. And that 5%, which is still not enough, going the other way, will make people lose their freaking minds. It's fun. Whoa, what's going on? Why are you acting so woke? And why are you? It's just 5% and people will lose their over it. It's funny.
What's that quote where it's like, when you're used to
It being one way or something for so
Yeah,
long?
it's like when you're used to being like sort of the dominant sort of, I forget the exact quote, but basically when you are used to being in that position of power, be that race, be that gender, equality feels like oppression. And I
Right.
think that is a lot of what you see, of just being like,
Yeah.
hey, it would be nice if women could exist in movies, not to just be in love with men. And people are like, feminazis. And it's like, no, we just want to be able to, like, as an actress, I just want to be able to play roles that are interesting and full and you know, yeah, love stories are great. I also have done a million things in my life that are not my love life, are not my relationships.
Yeah.
So
People have to also remember, like even in theater, on stage, like there was some women, if they were going to get the lead role in this play, it was probably Peter Pan. And they were playing a guy. I mean, and like it was like I'm like they're like what like I'm the lead, but I'm still all this praise is really being given to a boy. You know, it's funny. It's I think those things happen.
Kathy Rigby built a legacy. All right, I will not have Kathy Rigby maligned.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Well, she did it. Oh, she crushed it. I wouldn't take that away. But even further than that, when Shakespeare was still running the show, women weren't even allowed to play women.
No, I saw Shakespeare in Love. That was fine. They fixed it. That movie's totally accurate.
So Paul, yeah, to answer your question, I mean, you might see it's being stupid to you, but there's a reason why it was called out and why it exists. It's like. I think we're taking it for granted now because we feel like, all right, that's not happening anymore. Everybody's woke up. Well, okay, like 20 years ago, like 10 years ago. I'm like, like the numbers might be shifting, but dude, guys have been dominating for like over 100 years in Hollywood. Trust me, it's there's a reason behind it. But anyway, all right, we were on that for a while, so let's go on to the next. Thanks for sending the comment, but we're gonna correct you. We're gonna put you in your place real fast over here. What's the next one we got up?
On the reaction video to Bill Burr, white versus black athletes and Hitler, Adam Vaughan says, "Hey Amy, could you maybe react to Bill Burr's gorilla story, please? Thank you if you do." I feel like if I just slowly worked my way through every single piece of Bill Burr stand-up I had not seen prior to this, there would be a market for it.
I'm like, I've seen all the Bill Burr stand-ups, but I'm like, the gorilla story. Did I see?
I'm intrigued. I'll say that.
The gorilla story. I want to be. I feel like I'm in a situation where I'm like, if I watch that, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I did see it. But if I'm gonna have to look up where it's from. If it's on any of the stand-up that's on Netflix currently, excuse me, then I've seen it. Then it'll just be a refresher. But shit, if it's something that I haven't seen, I don't know, maybe I'll do the reaction to it. I'm gonna steal your thunder, get like 2 views, and be like, "Where's Amy?" But I don't remember.
But thank you. I always appreciate people sending in recommendations because it's hard with reaction videos too. Like I feel like the recommendations are so helpful on those. Because there is a real, like, I need someone to really sit, like something like the helicopter story where everybody's going, you need to see this, you need to see this.
Right.
Or like you specifically saying, watch this clip, react to it. Because I can't vet anything. I can't make sure something's worth my time. So thank you, everybody who's been really, really kick-ass about sending in tons of suggestions for what they want to see.
All right. And what's the next one that's up?
We got, in response to the Bill Burr helicopter story reaction, TheUnknownMax saying, have you thought about reacting to George Carlin? Highly recommend his stuff. Which is something I've been wanting to do. I feel like I have to be a little careful because I have seen a decent chunk of George Carlin stuff, so I got to make sure I'm digging in and finding stuff I haven't seen. But
I've seen bits and pieces.
One of the greats, and I think someone who would be a fun react, and someone who I've just always meant to do a deeper dive into his stand-up as a comedian. I think he's just brilliant.
Most of the I've seen most of his like little clips here and there. I haven't seen like a full session of his work, but I loved him in Dogma and in Bill and Ted. That's my guy. I always knew him as Rufus, and then the guy who was in Dogma. And then I was like, wait, he's a stand-up comedian, and
yeah, he's great.
And he was brilliant. So no, I got to catch up to his stand up. So I would. I'm getting a lot of recommendations to review, react to music videos. Sean wants me to react to a bunch of like metal stuff that I haven't seen. I grew up on I got into a lot of alternative, but he's not talking. He wants me to like watch like some straight up like death metal stuff. And he's like, dude, it'll be hilarious. It's like, cause you mostly listen to hip hop right, growing up. Yeah, when I was little, yeah, growing up, yeah. So you never listen to any death metal or heavy metal? Like, no, it's not. That wasn't my thing. He's like, oh, dude, this is gonna be great. He's like rubbing his hands together, like I feel like I'm being set up for something. So I don't know. I guess stay tuned for that, guys. Sean's gonna make me. He's already sent me some links. He's like, you gotta listen to this, gotta listen to that. So. And
I've got several years of stand up to get through.
Yeah, you're never getting out of this Bill Burr chair ever.
There are worse things. There are worse fates.
What's the last one that we got going on right here?
On the Bill Burr helicopter story reaction, Yard Dog 70 says, so Amy, are you married? I'm not a creep, but never mind, that sounded creepy. I appreciate the self-correct. I don't know. I love the like, oh no, this didn't turn out well. Time to hit send.
Like don't make her do the like.
Well, I like too. I think something about like, are you married makes me laugh. Of like, no, but I am in a relationship. Like, haha, no ring.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, like most guys, though, you would be surprised how many. I think I saw a movie where guy was trying to flirt with the lady that was in the car next to him. Like, hey, and she was like, oh, I got a ring. And he was like, I got one too. So whatever. Hey, whatever. Are we doing this or what? You'd be surprised, guys. Do not.
I would not be surprised, Chris. I would not.
You don't care. You're like, I mean, there's guys that'll flirt with women at church. You'd be like, hey, baby, how you doing? Hey, hold on 1 second. Praise the Lord. Anyway, I'm not here for that, but it's the thing.
Well, at least you have one really important interest in common,
right? Flirting at church, which happens more often than people think. Well, all right, guys. I think that was the last one, right? We're closing out on that one, guys. Once again, thank you guys for just. As we read through your questions and your comments over here on the show, and we got your mail. Like I said, every time we get these comments, it makes me laugh. It's just funny how your suggestions and there's some great stuff out there. So trust me, we're not ignoring. If we haven't responded to it or if it hasn't been on the show, it's not that we got them all. It's just the timing of it. Like there's so many now, and we got to decide which ones to filter through for these reactions. But yeah, like I said, keep them coming. Definitely, guys, check out the what we got coming up. We're approaching our 5,000 mark. So like I said, when we hit 5,000 subscribers, we're gonna try to do more live streaming. That way, you'll be able to suggest more Bill Burr.
Yell at us, just and we can be like, I'm not married
in real time, right?
Yeah.
And you'll see Eric's head slowly moving the frame like
yeah, Eric will just sit like down here, just on the floor. Like,
he should his head should pop up like Mortal Kombat whenever you uppercut somebody and he's like, hey, like what did that guy used to say? Toasted.
Like, Eric alert, Eric
yeah,
alert.
Eric alert. Like, whoa there, buckaroo, and then he just slips back down. I need to make that into a thing. I gotta create a graphic like that and it's just be Eric like we'll figure something like that, guys. But thanks for the comments, guys. Like I said, it makes the show more fun. It makes it better. I really enjoy reading through them all, and it gives us more interesting things to talk about. So keep them coming. You can add us at T3 Media's also on our social media accounts, or you can email it to us. You already know how to do that, guys. Just go to the website, /contact, and just send those trending topics, anything you guys think we want to talk about here on the show, and we'll do it, right? Maybe we'll do it on We Got Your Mail, or maybe we'll do it on the main show. Maybe we'll do a reaction.
We'll just lie awake and think about them before we go to sleep every night.
Yeah. Or maybe you guys want to propose to me every now and then. Hey, I'm not available, but I mean, I'd like to be asked. I mean, I'm just saying. It'd be nice to be appreciated. Okay, just saying. And if you want to send those proposals, you can send that in to me. You can always find me, Chris Fagan 1980 at Instagram or on Twitter, and you can also you guys can keep showing Amy how much you respectfully appreciate her on her work on the show. You can, where can people find you online, Miss Newman?
I am on Instagram at amy.n.newman and on Twitter at amy_n_Newman. And if you want to find my boyfriend and fight him, he would be thrilled. He's at Viva La Danes, DAINS. He's there and he's very happy and he's ready to.
He's already on your front porch out there. All right, guys, that's so. I appreciate you guys, and we'll be back next week for another week. Got your mail.
If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe to the channel and please drop a like on this video. It really does help us. Also, don't forget you can turn on notifications so you don't miss a single review, react, why is that trending, or we got your mail.